Bomber jackets, tailored trousers, and sturdy overcoats. Men's fashion in India has come a long way. 20 years back, men's fashion was highly influenced by what people saw on celluloid, largely the fantasy world of Bollywood. Cashmere sweaters, colourful scarves, mufflers, and fur coats were the humble styles of the 60s, made popular by actors like Dev Anand and Rakesh Thakore. This era also saw a range of floral shirts and bell-bottoms. Men dapper in suits became a hot favourite in the 70s. This was an era highly influenced by the gangster culture of the West. The bell-bottoms became wider from the 60s. Dark shades, tight blazers and broad ties were the choice of the decade. Hair was worn long and big sideburns were in. The 80s brought colour to the world of men's fashion. Flashy disco outfits with ostentatious accessories. The 90s and the early 2000s were all about comfort. Sleek trousers, rugged denims and biker jackets made their way into men's wardrobes. Today, of course, men have more discerning styles. Linen pants, band collar shirts, fluid harems and streamlined kurtas. With international brands like Canali, Xenia, Hugo Boss, Brioni, Armani and Burberry setting up shops in India, each bringing in a certain exclusivity to menswear. In the mid-2000s, Canali launched their Nawab collection, the tailored bangalas, the erstwhile Nehru jacket, and Jimmy Choo ventured into men's footwear in 2011 in India. Among the first few Indian designers to venture into menswear was the duo of David Abraham and Rakesh Thakore. In the fashion business for over 23 years, they set their rules, sticking to their design philosophy. But ever since, in the last decade or so, a new crop of designers have swooped in. Rohit Gandhi and Rahul Khanna joined hands to launch Q in 1998. Their collections are modern with straighter lines, catering to the growing demand for men's western wear in India, which was largely ignored in the past. We get chatting with the duos to speak of the evolution of men's fashion and the business around it.
It's not very often that you get to speak to two generations of fashion designers who work on men's fashion, and they're based in India. Abraham Thakore, of course, joining us here, and Rohit and Rahul here as well. Let me start by asking you, David, because, I mean, we've seen men's fashion. It's evolved over a period of time. You've seen it grow over a period of time as well. You know, when it started till now, can you say that there is a definition to men's fashion today in India?
I think there's a very, very strong sense of fashion today, especially I think at the street level. I think when you look at all the young people on the streets, when I walk around Delhi, when I look at the young kids going to the malls, and I can see that now with the rise of social media and the internet, trends move so quickly across the world that you see trends popping up all over. And I think it's becoming stronger and stronger.
Yeah, so this is a far cry from what we've seen in the past, from the time perhaps that you started. Has the progress been rapid or has it taken its time? And if so, then, you know, what have been the speed bumps, as it were?
I think it's taken its time, but also now it's quite quick.
You agree?
Well, of course, when we started in '97, mothers and sisters used to come and buy clothes for their husbands and brothers.
Yeah.
And things are rapidly changed. Men are becoming more experimental with color. They come and they know what they want. And they are clued on, as David said, with the Facebook, internet, everything is moving very fast. And men know what they want, and men are very conscious about their bodies. They are fitter as compared to yesteryears. What do you think, Rohit?
Social media, you think, is actually making a shift?
Social media, yes, and also all the electronic media which is in India. I think it has brought the world much closer. And but in India, I think a lot of people also get influenced by Bollywood, which keeps it different than you know, the masses. I'm talking about the masses are very, very influenced by trends which Bollywood come up with, which I think now Bollywood luckily has got stylists who also follow trends and also try and follow fashion trends, which makes the masses follow fashionable trends.
So does that work for you as fashion designers, the kind of influence that you see of Bollywood on fashion?
It's huge because it is huge. We are not talking about the select top 10 or 5% of the men who we see generally, but the masses majorly get influenced. And now with fashion also improving in movies, you feel that the whole trend, when you go out and you see people in malls and other places, you see them also really in sync with fashion.
Yeah.
Better dressed. I think they're better dressed
I
now.
think people are very
and
cool.
men are taking, as Rahul said, men are taking a lot of trouble personally in terms of grooming, and they have more confidence. They know exactly what they want.
I think Bollywood gets more noticed. That's the only thing. But there are a lot of people like you and us who want to dress up well as well.
A lot of people that come in, especially during the wedding season or festive season, they're really looking for a very particular kind of outfit or a garment that suits the occasion. They actually really could step in to say, this is what we want.
So when you come to talk about men's fashion in India, would you need to be as defined as to say that, look, we specialize in festive wear, or that we do the corporate look? Or is it still fairly open?
I mean, that's true of any clothing industry anywhere in the world.
No,
You
but
get
in
trousseau
India, how much has
designers.
that evolved over a period of time?
Oh,
Because
hugely.
on the men's side, I just found that
I mean, you have corporate dressing, which is the whole thing. And let's not forget that fashion is not about just the designers. Fashion is also high street. Fashion is also what you buy on Amazon for 100 rupees.
Right.
Fashion is not necessarily just the top-end fashion designer.
Sure.
And the sensibility cuts right across.
Right.
You can buy something off the street, you can go up to designer's atelier and order something specific. And every designer addresses certain needs.
right.
And we also, designers, have now started going to the mainstream. Like we sell, all of us, we sell with Will's Lifestyle, and they sell in 50, 60 stores all over the country. We sell with Van Heusen. So again, we sell with several stores. So it's not only confined to what they come and buy from us and what they want specially to be made for themselves. Sure. They also pick up ready to wear, which we are also a brand. Now we've reached out through these brands, through, as they said, Amazon, through other channels.
portals, yeah.
We've reached a lot more people now.
You know, at one level, we were talking about bespoke, and that was the only way to be. And then you had your Pret lines, and there was nothing in between as such, really. Then you had your neighborhood tailor, who would do a fine job in the past, but I mean, only so much that he can do, right?
Yeah.
Now you're seeing made to measure, which is kind of bridging the gap, and you're finding that in a lot of different spaces as well, where you're talking about, you know, getting it exactly how you would like it in terms of tailoring and adding the doodads. Right.
And also it's very famous in India because Indian male bodies are not so similar. We have paunches, we have broad shoulders. So made to measure is the key thing for men's fashion in India.
Right. Here you're looking at businesses growing in so many different fields, right? I mean, a .com for just about everything that you can think of. Why has it not happened so much in the fashion business, especially for people who have such huge heritage? You've kind of created a definition for yourself, for your brand. Why haven't we seen that kind of interest really take off and see it go to another level altogether, considering the options are so
I
many?
also find that a bit strange.
I think it may also be partly a failure of the corporate industry, because the corporate industry, from what I can see, is much more comfortable buying a foreign brand and bringing it into India than investing in local R&D and developing their own brand. Historically, we've always brought brands in.
Correct.
We have never really been a country that's manufactured original brands in such. I mean, it's a hard thing to say, but it's true.
Right. So, I mean, that competition still stands.
That still stands.
For you guys, for you, I mean, what is coming by way of the many brands who are taking an interest in India? Even if they're not selling, they are going to be here because when that liftoff happens,
Yeah.
they want to be part of it, right?
Totally.
That's a huge challenge for you. But what are you doing about it? You're saying that the corporate world hasn't taken enough interest, but I'm just saying how have you kind of pushed the envelope really to be able to get that interest going and make sure that you are brands in yourselves taking an Indian brand abroad?
I think first we should look at an Indian brand in India with the competition, and then the Indian brand abroad. They're two separate things. And I think the Indian brand in India, the successful brands will survive because they understand fashion is quite culture specific, and as Rohit has just been saying, we come from a tradition of made to measure also. It's not been very long that we haven't been wearing ready-made clothes for very long.
Correct.
And I find that in women's wear too, we would do cater to specific clients. The things that an Indian designer can do, and the fact that we can do small multiples and shorter runs is an advantage. It is an advantage.
We see all these global brands coming into India as the exposure is increasing. People are more aware about brands. People are more aware about designer clothes. They are venturing out. They had never heard about, you know, other stores and Zara's and everything 5 years back, you know. And now so the market share is increasing. That's what we think.
So it's just about taking off, but the potential is growing. That
There's
much we
huge
agree on. The
potential,
potential
huge
is growing,
potential,
and We are
And
likely
there
to
is
get
a lot
there
of
very quickly.
potential.
Yes. And you tapping.
Yeah. I mean, we're all in business still. We pay
Right.
the rent, we put food on the table.
Right.
You know?
But that's not going to be enough, is what we are trying to say, that you need to do much
Yeah,
more
I
to
think
be able
one
to take
starts
it
with
up.
that.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's not easy anywhere in the world.
Sure enough. Well, good luck. Thank you so
you.
much.
Thanks
Such a pleasure
so
talking
much.
to you.